G'day everyone, I hope you're all doing very good today. I'm Michelangelo Javinis and welcome to my pre-recorded discussion about the foundations of curriculum and overview on curriculum development specifically focused on philosophical foundations. So based upon fundamental beliefs that arise from one's philosophy of education, curricular decisions involve consideration of several topics and issues. Precisely for this reason, we consider philosophy one of the major foundation areas in the curriculum. And today, we shall look into the following four major philosophical positions that have hitherto influenced the curriculum development. And first, we have the idealism. The doctrine of idealism suggests that the matter is an illusion and that reality is that which exists mentally. It emphasizes moral and spiritual reality as the chief explanation of the world and considers moral values absolute, timeless, and universal. Teachers would act as role models of enduring values, and the materials used for instruction therefore would center on broad ideas, particularly those contained in great works of literature and or of scriptures. Second, we have realism. Realists consider education a matter of reality rather than speculation. Application, the paramount responsibility of the teacher then, is to impart to learners the knowledge about the world they live in. However, the idealist, unlike the realist, to stress that education should reflect permanent and enduring values that have been handed down through generations, but only to the extent that they do not interfere with the study of particular disciplines. Third one is the pragmatism. In contrast to the traditional philosophies, which are the first two, the idealism and the realism, pragmatism gives importance to change, processes, and relativity, as it suggests that the value of idea lies in its actual consequences. According to pragmatists, learning occurs as a person engages in transacting with the environment or the world around them. Basic to this interaction is the nature that change, of course. In this sense, whatever values and ideas are upheld currently would be considered tentative, since further social development must refine or change them. And that's very interesting. For instance, at a particular time period, it was generally believed that the earth was flat, but it was subsequently disproved through scientific research. Also believing that teaching should be therefore more exploratory in nature rather than explanatory. Existentialism is the next one, and this doctrine emphasizes that there are no values outside human beings and thus suggests that human beings should have the freedom to make decisions and then be responsible for the consequences of those choices. It emphasizes that education must center on the perceptions and feelings of the individual in order to facilitate understanding of personal reactions or responses to life situations. Of primary concern of this process is the individual, and learners should not be forced into predetermined programs or studies, because whatever the learner feels like he or she must learn should be respected and facilitated by the system, and this is already practiced. Now let's proceed to the educational philosophies that has stemmed out from those philosophical foundations which served as their basis. Now we have the perennialism. It advocates the permanency of knowledge that has stood the test of time and values that have moral and spiritual basis. The underlying idea is that education is constant, absolute, and universal, and obviously perennialism in education is born of idealism in general philosophy. The curriculum of the perennialist is subject-centered. It draws heavily on defined disciplines or logically organized bodies of content, but it emphasizes teaching, learning of languages, literature, sciences, and the arts. Next is the progressivism. This emerged as a protest against perennialist thinking in education, and it was considered a contemporary reformist movement in educational, social, and political affairs during the 1920s up until the 1930s. According to progressivist thought, the skills and tools of learning include problem-solving methods and scientific inquiry. Next is the essentialism. This philosophy, rooted partly in idealism and partly in realism, evolved mainly as a critique of progressive thought in education. Yet the proponents of essentialism do not totally reject progressive methods, as they too believe that education should prepare the learners to adjust to the changing society, which is also correct. Thus, in essentialism, learning should consist of mastering the subject matter and that it also reflects currently available knowledge in various disciplines. Humanism. In the humanistic approach, a teacher would allow the learners to learn by their own free will with the desire of knowledge, and since humanists believe that the desire to learn is innate and aim towards the ultimate goal of self-actualization, the motivation must come from the learners. And lastly, Reconstructionism. It views education as a means of reconstructing society. The Reconstructionists believe that as a school or college is attended by virtually all youth, it must be used as a means to shape the attitudes and values of each generation, and as a result, when the youth become adults, they will share certain common values, and as a society will have reshaped itself. That will be all. Thank you.